I am going to redo my Doom Curse video because there is more I would like to add to it. Now that time has passed, I've discovered more things about this Doom Curse.
Chapter 5.
Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits.
I googled this here. What does the internet satellite look like? And it's just showing a bunch of pictures here. But I believe that what Zachariah seen was this satellite. Now, there is this video that I tried looking everywhere, probably a good day, and could not find it anywhere. So, but it described, it was like a video from 1973 of this satellite they were going to launch, and it was exactly, the dimensions was 10 by 20. Kid you not, but I cannot find it. I went to NASA everywhere, Googled it, could not find it. So I'll just do it this way. So what he's seen, the dimensions he mentioned was exactly the dimensions of this satellite. It's not the first satellite. It was like 1973, I believe, is when this satellite was launched. But the dimensions is what we're looking for, and that was dimensions of it. Now, what else could it be that flies through the air? An airplane, airplanes aren't 10 by 20. They're bigger than that. So, and with wings. So he must have been seeing this satellite. This is the curse. Now this is for the internet. All these satellites are internet satellites. And notice how they put the disc on there. So this is what they use to torture me with. They use this, the internet satellite. I'm just almost positive. You know, I don't know. And nobody has ever come to me and let me know any of this. I've been finding all this out on my own. Now, I know these people that stalk me and read my mind and stuff. They use their cell phones. There's a long... Look at that, this satellite here. It's long, it has wings, it has a little disc on the end too. So I just wanted you guys to see some of these satellites. Look at that one.
Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it. And every one that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it.
So what they're saying here is that they're going to be cut off. The people that steal and swear falsely. Because what they do is they come in forcibly, like a thief and a robber, and take your life over. They do it without you wanting them to. They torture. They try raping you with their dirty little beans, brainwash you. They do all these manner of evil things against you. And so they come in like a thief and a robber. They bear false witness against me. They're slanderers. They take everything I say and twist it into lies. And they can throw thoughts into your head to make people think you're thinking these were thoughts. So they swear falsely. Here, Exodus 23, verses 22 through 23, what he meant by cut off. This, now listen. But if thou shalt obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto your enemies and an adversary unto your adversaries. For my angel shall go before you and bring you in unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. God is planning on destroying these people that have the curse.
I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts. And it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof.
Okay, let me explain a little bit about what the Lord told me about this doom curse. He told me about this doom curse back in 2013, and he gave it to me in 3 parts. But okay, he gave me the first part at the beginning of 2013. It was right around May, somewhere around there. I was sitting out on my front porch, and this is what he said to me. He said, the people that are torturing you, and all those people that are affiliated with them, and all those people that know about this but do nothing, he said they all have a doom curse. I said, a doom curse? What is that? And he said, well, gives a person a sorrowful heart and an emptiness inside. I said, really? And I said, could you put that on me for just a few minutes to see how it feels to have the doom curse? And he did. He did it for like 3 seconds. But the best way I can describe how it feels is when I got my divorce. I got a divorce from my husband because he was unfaithful. And the Lord, I told the Lord, I am willing to work on this, and he told me to get a divorce. So it was the Lord, and he hates divorce, so that ought to tell you something. He gave me 2 more parts of the doom curse in August, the last part of August of 2013, and this is how he compiled everything and put it together and described the whole curse to me. This is how he said it. He says, the people that have the doom curse, first they get the sorrowful heart and the emptiness inside. It has 4 levels. He says it fills up. He says, and then when it reaches to the top, he says that then it goes over into rottenness. He says, and that's everything they touch, everything they do turns to rottenness. It even gets into the beams of their house. All right, and then that has 4 levels, and once it goes to the top, then they go over into destruction, and that means God lifts his hand off from you, and demons can get on you. Now, a little bit about these doom curses is that I've seen people with this doom curse, and the sorrowful of heart and emptiness inside causes the person that has this curse, their corners of their mouth turn downward. And it gets so bad that they get creases inside of their mouths, which they cannot, it's a part of their feature now. And they almost look like puppets. See, and their features start changing too. They start looking not real.
Then the angel that talked with me went forth, and said unto me, Lift up now thine eyes, and see what is this that goeth forth. And I said, What is it? And he said, This is an ephah that goeth forth. He said moreover, This is their resemblance through all the earth.
Okay, an ephah is an instrument that measures grain, and Christians are known as wheat.
And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. And he said, This is wickedness.
So they're sitting in the midst of this device that measures Christians. Their cars are always parked outside their driveway. And I've told you in many videos how evil these women are, and some of the things that they have said to me is right from the pit of hell. They're sitting all around me here. They all stay in their homes. Their cars never leave the driveway. They might go out to do some shopping, but they're right back home. They don't work. They stay and they V2K me, they torture me, and the Talon and lead is what I believe would be the many cell towers everywhere, the satellite towers that you see nowadays everywhere.
And he cast it into the midst of the ephah. And he cast it into the midst of the ephah.
All right, I think the it here refers to the curse and how the Lord has cast the curse upon all of the people that are using this measuring device, this ephah, to measure the wheat in this heinous and evil, wicked way with these satellites and torturing methods. I think that's what he's saying here.
And he cast the weight of lead upon the mouth thereof. Then lifted I up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out 2 women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork.
The stork is the universal symbol for a baby being delivered. Universal. Everybody knows about the stork and how he brings the baby. God knew that's what the symbol would be, and that's why he used it. Now, I've mentioned before how God wants me to write a book, and I was thinking about what a good title would be, and I came up with The Breeders. And I have good reasons to say that, but that's what these guys do. They breed. I can't emphasize that more than anything. These guys are breeders. Train up a child in the way he will go, and he will not depart thereof. Well, these people that torture are raising up these kids to be so heinous.
And they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, Whither do these bear the ephah? And he said unto me, To build it an house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there upon her own base.
Babylon, the whore, is Washington, D.C. Shinar is the place, literally over in Iraq. There's a Shinar right by Babylon. And when you look up Shinar, you'll see that it's in the same region as Babylon. In fact, they include, whenever you look up Shinar, they'll say, oh, it's in the region of Babylon. And isn't that interesting how they include Babylon when you look up Shinar? How they include that in with the description of Shinar. That's just kind of interesting to me. So, D.C. is Babylon. Shinar is the rest of the United States. It's right by Babylon. And so these women are building bases and homes here in the United States. This technology started with NASA. Now, God told me about this curse, and he gave it to me in 3 parts. And over the course of about 5 months, and he timed it to where, let me add, that where I would be starting my reading in Zechariah. He just timed it perfectly that I would be in Zechariah 5. All right, so the Lord didn't want me to miss it because he wanted me to be in Zechariah 5 at this time because he wanted to show me that this is the very same curse that he was telling me about. This picture I have here, I took that from my first Doom Curse video, and I liked it and everything, but here in the window, I wrote back in 2013 while making this video, I wrote about 4 days ago, and today is 9/10/2013. I was reading my daily scriptures. By chance, I was in Zechariah 5. See, the Lord wanted me to put 2 and 2 together, and I have. It's the same curse, and he's just telling us what's going to happen. He's going to cut those people off on this side to it and on that side to it. And there's a huge consequence to anyone that partakes of hurting a Christian, a child of God. They will get the doom curse, which makes their mouths turn downward. They get a sorrowful heart. Everything they touch is rottenness. And then they're going to have to suffer the wrath of God and be utterly destroyed. Those people, there's only one word that could describe these people that do the torturing and that is criminally insane. That's what these people are. You cannot torture a person and be sane. The Lord said to me when the very beginning of this, He told me that I asked Him what was wrong with them, and He told me, He said, there's something missing. And the first thing I thought about it was a deck of cards and with one card missing. Not playing with the full deck. There's 2 videos I want you to watch.
I want to talk to you about this first vision that God gave me. I was out in space, and I saw the beautiful blue planet. I heard the Lord say, watch. And as I watched, I began to see these small hexagon neon lights. And then quickly it covered the earth. And when this thing was completed, it looked like a geodesic dome. It was clear, and you could see the earth under it. I was kind of troubled when I saw it. In 1985, I was a graduate student in music in Houston. The internet was in its infancy at that time. I had no way of understanding this. But the Lord said to me, there's coming an electronic web that will cover the earth. I began to see like a brackish kind of green, like a pond color, you know, smoke. And it began to come up and fill each of these little hexagons. It looked like the bottom of a pond. And I couldn't see the earth anymore. It was just this brackish color. And then I heard the Lord say again, watch. So as I watched, then I saw those in the same order, suddenly they just went black, 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 until finally the whole planet was in darkness. But it wasn't just darkness. It was like, it was, you know, it says deep darkness. I mean, it was so black, the space looked bright. It was a spiritual darkness. And it just, I had this sick feeling in my stomach. And then I heard the screams of millions of lost souls. I heard them screaming and crying out to God, and I knew that somehow it was too late. Something had happened. Something would happen. I didn't know what it was exactly, but I was very troubled. Cut off from God. This surveillance, this web, is truly a web. In the book of Daniel, the last chapter, it says that a primary sign of the end times is that knowledge would increase exponentially. And the one thing that characterizes this generation, among many others, is that knowledge, the knowledge of man, the accumulated knowledge of man, is now instantly accessible. And again, it's all connected with that web, that electronic web, the tree of knowledge that has filled the earth. But it'll be like a trap. Yeshua said that this day will come as a trap, or a thief in the night, or something where everyone is saying peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should take you this way. Is called Mystery Babylon in Revelation chapter 17. There's a wine of Babylon, drunk and staggering around. In other words, not in their right mind. But I do know one thing. As long as we're down here, God will supernaturally protect and provide for us. So the Lord then said to me, half of those that say they know me in the time of the end are liars. They have never been lit with the fire from heaven. They are burning with the strange fires of Mystery Babylon. They only pretend to know me. Their lamp shall be put out. Their lamps shall be put out in outer darkness, and there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. But those who are mine shall shine forever, and burn with the brightness of my glory as the stars. For they are lit from my throne and fed with my oil, and shall never go out. I'm going to give you another vision. This happened in 2009. I was in Hong Kong. This was, I call it the vision of the closing of the gates of grace. Again, I saw the earth in space, like I spoke to you. And above it, I saw two massive golden gates that were open like this. Just massive gates. They were as big as I mean, they looked bigger than the earth. And two huge angels on each side. One on each side, I should say. What I saw a river of light pouring down onto the earth from these gates, and heaven was above it. And then I looked up above this, and I saw Yeshua. I saw Jesus on a throne. And he had what looked like an iron scepter or pole in his right hand. It wasn't fancy. It looked like a weapon. It looked like, you know, just like it says in Psalm 2, he'll smash with a rod of iron. It was iron. It was metal. It was like this dark metal. He said, "The time has come to close the gates of grace upon the earth. The nations have rejected me and my Father long enough. Lift the coverings of protection off of those nations that have chosen Babylon over my kingdom." And then I saw the angels begin to shut the doors, but they closed very slowly. They closed so slowly. Right before the gates closed, I heard the Lord say, "Come up here, my bride, and escape the wrath that is about to be poured out upon the earth." A deafening loud blast of trumpets. And before these gates closed completely, multitudes, millions of souls ascended out of the earth very fast in a flash of light. Yeshua was suspended in the outer atmosphere, and these souls met him in the air, then rapidly went up through the closing doors in a river of light and glory. The earth was left in darkness, and I saw that electronic web again and heard the screams of those lost in the darkness. I said, whoa. And then I wasn't there anymore. And he says, "There's one more place I want you to see." And he said, very few have seen this on the earth. I said, oh, I felt very humble. I mean, I know one thing for sure. It has nothing to do with anything I did. I tell you, it's all God's mercy and grace, everything. But he said, "You must tell my people that I'm coming soon. All is now ready." And he actually said to me, he said, all of heaven is on its feet. So important. Now, that word watch is a military word. It's actually a period of time. We are called to be watchmen to stand our post and our sphere of influence and pray and bring victory to our world. Bring the light into the darkness. That's a war. That's a war. We're called to war on our knees, if you will.
There will be innuendos, lies, false statements that will float around that come from the very pits of hell. It will be a supernatural demonstration of demonic power. Legions of lying spirits have been turned loose upon the world with the single purpose of accusing Christians through gossip and slander to rob them of their victory and faith and trust in Jesus Christ. Suddenly the floodgates are going to swing open, and Satan is going to vomit filth out of hell, and it'll be just as it was in the days of Lot, and will vex the souls of God's most devout saints. Many will be given over to reprobate minds, creating a new form of mental illness that will not respond to any kind of treatment. Now, the purpose of this coming persecution that I see in the Spirit will be to separate and scatter the true believers from the false. Jesus Christ himself, who predicted persecution was coming for all true Spirit-baptized believers. Jesus predicted it. John 15:13. Jesus said, "If you were of the world would love his own. But because you're not of this world, but I've chosen you out of the world, therefore the world will hate you. Remember the word that I said to you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you." I see a gossip war. They're going to be the target of the most vicious, malicious gossip of all times. The devil's going to raise up gossip mongers to harass and malign and lie against you. They're going to face more and more ridicule, gossip, and misunderstanding by the press and by liberal people in the media. Every motive is going to be questioned. Every statement is going to be examined and cross-examined. They're going to be mocked and maligned by comedians on television. And dear friend, you've got to hear what the Holy Spirit said to me. Just 5 little words, but so powerful they awakened in me a glorious new hope and faith, and I woke up shouting. And those 5 little words that blazoned in my heart were these: God has everything under control.